the Carabao Cup. Obviously, we've got the last word in a moment. Well, Kyle's obviously done his quick thoughts, and we'll just put the match vlog out. But let's crack on with it. So obviously, it's a disappointing night, a gutting way to go in. But how did you feel Carl Dollar got on?
I think, as we lose a bit of light, I think he did well, considering he was quite bombarded, especially in that second half, as Leicester were certainly going for it. They weren't content with penalties. Yeah, did well, but not outstanding.
What do you give him then?
I would give him, I'll be generous and say 7.
Give him a 7. Ooh, got some light there. Emil Croft, I thought struggled tonight. He was subbed off after 55 minutes, and Manquillo, I thought Manquillo actually done a lot better. The amount of times that Harvey Barnes beat him, very poor today.
It was easy for Barnes, wasn't it?
It was pretty easy, and Barnes found it a little bit tougher when Manquillo come on. But yeah, poor. I'm going to score him a 4 out of 10. I think if he played longer, he could have hurt with a goal. But because he didn't, 4 out of 10. The right side in the back was Fabian Schar.
Fabian Schar, love him when he gets in those sort of moods, when he wants to prowl forward, and played a big part in the goal as well. Excellent long ball, Shelvey-esque, as we've seen over the years. Yeah, I'll say 8 on that one. Yeah.
Federico Fernandez, I thought, had a good game as well.
Yeah.
Kept Jamie Vardy very, very quiet, and he was mostly on Vardy throughout that as well. So if you're scoring Fabian Schar 8, I'll have to match that and go.
I think it's fair, yeah.
I think that's fair, so I'll go along with I'll put Fed as an 8. Moving across to Kieran Clark, struggled at the beginning of the match, didn't he?
Yeah. Big improvement in the second half, but then it was pretty concerning, his first half performance. Getting beat way too easily. It just feels like he's lost a bit of match sharpness. Pre-season might have not been that good for him, and hey, when it comes to competitive matches, he's not really been first name on the team sheet, not even on the subs bench for a lot of them. I'll say 5. 5 on that one. I think,
again,
I can't give more than that.
I think Jetro Williams, I know he was involved in the goal and he won. It would have been probably a penalty, but I know Muto put it in. But I thought he struggled with match fitness as well. If he's trying to push Ritchie out the side, that performance is not good enough to get Ritchie out that side. So similar to Kieran Clark, struggled with match fitness. Again, I'll have to match you. I'll have to score him a 5.
I was thinking maybe 4 for Willems.
No, I'll score him a 5. I think he done better than Croft on the other side though, because he was in.
Well, to be honest, that wouldn't have been hard to that wouldn't have been difficult to be better than Croft.
Yeah. Let's move into midfield. Switching across over to the right midfield, we'll see Matty Longstaff getting his competitive debut. So well done, Kyle. I'm not saying it before you say it because he's smiling behind the camera. How do you thought he'd get on in his unusual right midfield role?
And I know Kyle wants me to say any 29.
Yeah, in case you forgot.
Brilliant. Yeah, really pleased for him. I think he gave a really good account of himself tonight, especially in the first half.
Very energetic, wasn't he?
Yeah, I mean, you see a lot of debutants nowadays and they do seem a lot out of place. Definitely not the case for Matty Longstaff tonight. A good 7. It did feel like Leicester perhaps
tired.
Yeah, tiredness, and Leicester seemed to know how to match him in the second half. So he wasn't as effective in that second half, but great performance in the first half. A good 7 for me.
It was a bright light. See what I done there? So alongside him, Jonjo Shelvey back in the side. Obviously was, would you say, dropped probably from the weekend. 6. I think it's steady. Yeah. He could have done a lot more. I thought he could have influenced the game a lot more, but in front of him he didn't have many runners, which struggled a little bit. But I'm going to go.
The passes went wayward, weren't they?
Yeah. But I think he wanted to try and get on the ball, but Hayden's not going to be a creative spark, and Shelvey is that man. In 6, he was all right, but not massive. Speaking of Hayden, you can rate him.
Okay, he did well in terms of keeping, playing in front of that defensive line, getting the rough tackles in. Had Perez for lunch, sort of, on several occasions. Really good to see. I'm not the biggest fan of Perez now, obviously, but then, of course, going forward, he just seemed to be a bit lost for ideas. Whenever he wanted to go forward, he was playing it back, and it was a bit frustrating to watch a bit at times. But let's not forget, I think his primary job he did well tonight. I'll be generous and say 7.
Matt Ritchie, who surprisingly went off injured, and that was a nasty challenge by Chowdhury. You would have seen it in the match vlog that he doesn't go down often, and he went down. We're all a little bit concerned because he just gets up and gets on with it. Very passionate on the field. Hopefully it's not too seriously. He just walked off. He took himself off. Didn't even bother flagging his whacked off. But overall, when Ritchie plays, that old saying that Paul was gone on about, he did put his graft in. I think if he played the full 90, you would probably scored him a 7 because his endeavour and his work rate, but I'll score him a 6. I thought he was steady again. Not massively, didn't really create huge amounts, didn't play long enough. 45 minutes, just went off injured, but overall, give him a 6. And then it was Yoshinori Muto.
Yoshinori Muto, excellent game tonight. I think first half, it did feel like the same old story in the sense that we don't play to his strengths, and that is a sad fact, unfortunately. I think he would be an excellent player in a different team, and I certainly felt that in the first half. He did look a lot. He looked really isolated in that first half, but second half, goodness me, he must have flipped at half time. He was excellent player. All of a sudden, confidence went through the roof.
Chase and everything as well.
Yeah, excellent. Really pleased for him to get his first goal at St James's Park.
The scruffy goal, like a poacher goal.
Yeah, but right place, right time. I know it might be one of the easier goals that he'll get in his career, but you got to commend right place, right time, and all that. And then after the goal, he just seemed to. Everything went through him, and he was really putting Sung-Yueng and Johnny Evans to the test. I would say sort of made firm, rather. Solid 8.
Solid
I'll
8.
say solid 8.
Solid 8.
Making firm.
Yeah,
it's a joke.
Anyways, the first substitute was Christian Atsu. I thought it was Brighton probably the first 20 minutes, and then he probably faded off. He was blooming hell, it's got Algan doing there in Chinatown. Got a poltergeist hanging around here somewhere. The lights going on and off. Yeah, back to Atsu. Steady. I think if he kept his form on the first 20 minutes, he probably would have scored a 7, but perhaps, faded a little bit. What's going on doing there? 6. Going to give him a 6. I'm getting put off. Who was the next one? It was yes, yes for Croft. Obviously, that's an improvement on Croft straight away.
That's definitely. Manquillo did so much more than what Croft did 5 minutes after coming on.
They didn't go down that line as much, did they?
No, not at all. But I think Manquillo certainly did a job. Certainly did what he was supposed to do. But then not really given that much time to really make a mark on the game. So I'd say 6.
Okay. And then the last man, Paul Dummett, we're not going to rate. Non-applicable.
Nah.
Let's go to Steve Brewster quickly. If I said to you, if this was the league game and that was the side that you put out, you would take the point. You would.
Oh yes.
Let's be honest. It's disappointing that we lost on penalties, but that's the look of the door. You cannot blame Steve Bruce on the penalty loss. No. But that was a league game. You would have probably scored Bruce what, 7? Am I being? But because I know we lost on penalties, take that out. If you offered me a point with that side, you think Leicester would, because the way they go forward, they would just destroy us. They were definitely threatening a lot, so I think Bruce did well to keep it at 5 at the back, considering the players that were in that defensive line aren't generally, we've seen beforehand, aren't generally suited to that 5 at the back. They're not quite comfortable there, I don't think. But I think he did brave, and I think it was the right call. 7, I'd say. I think, we're going to rate Bruce a 7. I think that's fair. Yeah, I think we'll agree on that, because it's technically he's unbeaten in 2 if you want to be technically speaking. But that's it. That's the score and the players. Coming up later, we have the final word with Kyle and me. Ta-da.